the bandages had been cut away from the chest area, it was possible to see the arms, which were crossed over the chest. Here we discovered the two gilded nipple amulets. There was little skin tissue left on any part of the body. What was present was very dry and delicate, and had to be removed with extreme care. Despite this general lack of skin tissue, some was found on the hands, and was removed for examination.
That's obviously the cut section of this structure, whether it's a penis or not. But it is interesting because it's obviously continuous with this piece of bandage, which looks as if it's been pushed down.
It seemed that they themselves were uncertain of the sex or identity of this person.
It's just a roll of bandage, isn't it?
We moved on to the unwrapping of the legs. And it was here that we made one of the unexpected discoveries. When the outer bandages were removed, they revealed a pair of brightly painted funerary slippers. The curious round object noticed on the X-rays was found to be a pair of artificial feet made of weeds and mud. The right one was carefully constructed, but the left one was simply an irregular bundle. These were intended as substitutes for use in the next world, since the real limbs were missing. The lower parts of the legs had been amputated. The left one below the knee through the tibia, and the right one above the knee through the femur. Artificial limbs made of mud and reed had been provided, and pieces of wood were used to splint the bones to the artificial limbs. Embedded in the mud around one of the legs, we found a small snail, which we removed for examination. The exact time of amputating the legs remains a matter of speculation, but it's likely that this occurred shortly before death. This may have been the result of an accident, or may have been carried out intentionally. The examination of the body brought to light various puzzling facts. There was the generally poor state of preservation and the absence of internal organs. There was the curious distribution of resin and the provision of both male and female attributes for the deceased by the embalmers. Yet, this was an elaborate preparation for the next life, with the inclusion of gilded finger and toe covers, painted slippers, cartonnage covers, and artificial limbs. Various explanations were put forward, but carbon-14 dating tests carried out on the bones and bandages of 1770 finally provided the answer. The bandages dated to about 380 AD, but the bones of this adolescent were about 1300 years older. The body had been rewrapped in the Roman period, probably because it was believed to be the body of someone of considerable importance. But the exact identity of the person must, even then, have been uncertain. This much we can deduce. We can even reconstruct a possible likeness. But the name, the origins, and the true appearance of 1770, they will always remain a mystery.